topic is titled, Take a Step Back so you can see the bigger picture. Take a step back so you can see the bigger picture, okay? So, how many of you maybe drove down the road and you had a bunch of, let's say, 18-wheelers in front of you, and you couldn't see what was going on. You couldn't see what was going on in front of you or what was going on in front of the 18-wheeler, right? Because you got all of these trucks that are in front of you, and so they're blocking your view, of course, right? So, what do you do in that point? Sometimes when it comes to 18-wheelers, a lot of people really like to stay away from them. They like to stay as far back as possible. Me, because I'm a little risque, I tend to just drive through. But a lot of people, especially new drivers, they tend to get very, very scared, and they try their best to stay far, far away from them. Now, where am I going with this message? I'll tell you. If you're in traffic and you got all of these 18-wheeler trucks blocking you, okay, and you're trying to see where your exit is, what will you do? Are you going to continue to go with the flow of traffic and still be behind this 18-wheeler truck? Or are you going to slow down and let these trucks pass you so your view can be clear? Right? So, what a smart person would do in this instance is they will slow down or maybe stop and let all of the 18-wheeler trucks go far as possible so they can have a clear view, a clear path. So when it comes to your life, and when it comes to analyzing things, and when it comes to stepping back, sometimes in order for you to get the bigger picture or get a better understanding, you either have to pump the brakes or you have to slow down. Because when it comes to us maybe engaging in certain opportunities or maybe involving ourselves in certain business deals or business partnerships or business relationships, whatever, sometimes we tend to fall right on into it first, right? And because we fell right into it, we didn't see anything. We missed a lot of things that we could have avoided from the start. So, when it comes to your life and when it comes to you analyzing the flow in which you go, it is best to either slow down or stop so you can see the bigger picture, okay? A lot of people, they never approach so easily when there's so many things blocking their view. Because guess what? You're entering into something that you don't know what you're going to get out of, okay? Now, I know a lot of people like to say, have faith. You have to step down the stairs even without seeing the staircase, right? I understand that. But when it comes to certain situations where you know that you need to slow down or maybe pump the brakes so you can get a clearer view, that's what you're going to have to do. So in those instances, you have to really, really, really just pump the brakes, okay? Because sometimes our brain can get into overload and we can just begin to think about all these negative things and, still trying to function properly throughout the day, but we're not functioning properly because we're on overload and we're making mistakes and we're, just going crazy and not actually being, what is that word? We're not actually being punctual or process perfect in our process because we're approaching it with all of these things that are blinding our focus. So you have to take a step back when it comes to that, especially when it comes to you being in important roles in your life. You really, really have to move in slow. You really have to move in slow because you don't want to be in this role handling all of these things, but yet you're messing up at the same time because you have all of this, all of these things in your way that are blocking your view and keeping you from understanding the bigger picture. So I chose this as my topic because it was a day where I just felt completely overwhelmed and I was just approaching things without any, thought to it. I was just throwing myself into it. And plus, I had all of these other things in my mind, just thinking about all the other things that I had to really, really focus on, or make sure I adhere to, and make sure I'm present here, and make sure I'm present there. I had all of this stuff going on in my mind, and I was showing up, yet I wasn't showing up, ready. I wasn't showing up ready in a way that would help me succeed, because all I had was all of this stuff in my view. And all of that stuff was just, like I said, a lot of things that I was thinking about. So when you become overwhelmed, you need to take a step back. You need to take a step back from your life, even if it means you have a whole day completely off to yourself, where you just sit down and maybe reanalyze your day. You start to reorganize, or start planning, setting timers, putting things on your calendar. You have to do those things. You have to, because no successful person approaches assignments that they probably haven't marked on their calendar first, or really thought about how they're going to make sure this flow right. Because when it comes to entrepreneurship, and hey, I don't know much about it yet, but hopefully one day I will a lot. When it comes to entrepreneurship, there's a lot of planning involved. There's a lot of planning involved, because you want to make sure that you're hitting these marks consistently each and every day. And even though that mark may be this same, flow, eventually, when that entrepreneur continuously do the same thing over and over, eventually that's going to ride out, and that's going to elevate. Okay, so you can't do that with an unplanned life, and that's just true. That's just completely true. And I'm just hoping to be there one day. I'm just hoping to be able to just plan and actually follow through. I'm not going to lie to you guys. This video probably was not going to happen, because I came home from work. I sat outside with my son at his football game, and I was just thinking to myself, sometimes I feel like I can't do it, because guess what? I got all of this stuff on my shoulders and in my mind, and I'm not removing it and focusing on the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is way beyond me. It's for me to speak to other women, to uplift them so they can know how to walk in their purpose. So get rid of whatever you're feeling. Get rid of all of the things that are blinding you, because you can't walk this fine line with all of these trees and ditches and sticks and branches all in your way. You're not going to be able to walk that path. Although you'll be able to walk it, but how easy will it be? It's more easy to have a planned day and, be able to flow with it. And of course, who said that sometimes things won't get in the way of? But majority of the time, if you have a plan and you have a schedule, you'll be sticking to that. Okay? You'll definitely be sticking to that. Be focused. Be focused, and how you do that is you have to step back. Every person who's planning and has a business, they took a step back before they actually proceeded and went forward, okay? Because they wanted to make sure that their plan, although it's their passion at this time, they wanted to make sure that that plan actually leaded up to them being paid for it, okay? Because you don't want to work your butt off all day for nothing. Especially if you're trying to build a job out of it and have financial stability. No entrepreneur does that. So in order for them to make sure that they're creating or having revenue income, they sit down and they plan it out. This is what's going to help me make more money for my company. This is what's going to help me make more money for myself. They don't just throw it all out there. Okay, because it's like they're giving themselves away. They're just giving themselves away, and they're not getting anything in return. Okay, take a step back to analyze the situation. When it comes to relationships and disagreements, sometimes you just have to pull yourself out of it. Go sit down and think for a minute. Think about the bigger picture, and then go back to that person. And guess what? Normally when we do that, when we go away for a minute and we think about it, and we come back, normally what happens? You guys can have a mature conversation then, right? It's because both of you took a stand back and you reanalyzed the situation so you can see the bigger picture. And that may have been that we're actually good together. We have a great family. I love this woman. I love this man. So that's what we have to do, especially when you become extremely overwhelmed. It is okay to take a step back and just reanalyze your life. It doesn't mean that you're completely giving up. It just means that you need to get re-energized and charged and ready to go again. So that was my little message, and y'all just pray for me, okay? Because I have a lot of mental challenges that I have to get over in order to become the person that I want to become. Each and every day is definitely a struggle, man. It's definitely a struggle, so I completely understand where you're coming from. But I don't care if you have to do it every day. Every day, if you have to, take a step back so you can see the bigger picture. It doesn't mean that you're a loser. It doesn't mean that you're a quitter. It just means that you know you. And you know that if you don't take a step back, you're going to eventually give up. So don't be so hard on yourself. Just take a step back and reanalyze the situation so you can see the bigger picture. And that was it for this evening. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel at Change with Londa. And also, if you are not, please follow me on Instagram. My Instagram handle name is Change with Londa as well.